welcome. My name is Lean, and today I will be the host for the live. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for joining this first live show for 2022. I really hope all of you have an amazing year and that you can accomplish your goals related to studying abroad. And don't worry, we're gonna be here to help you through every step, and we're gonna be here to help you throughout this process to find the best destination, to find also the best program that suits you and your goals. So I already see so many of you here, guys. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Just to get started and to make it more fun and, like more casual, I would like to know your name and also where you are watching us from. So I already said my name. My name is Lean, and I am in Canada now. So I want you guys to tell me the same just on the comments, and I will read them just to get to know you better. So I see someone on the comments. Your name is also Lean. So hi, Lean. Nice to meet you. It's actually very rare to see someone with the same name as me, unless they're Arab, because I am too. Hi, Khalid from Pakistan. Hi, Sakit from India. Hi from Nigeria, Marshall. Hi, Amira. Lean from Lebanon. Oh, nice. I'm actually from Syria. Hi, Murad from Bangladesh. From Nigeria again. Thank you guys for sharing where you are from. It's actually really interesting seeing all those people coming from different places and just being connected here together. It's gonna be really nice and fun live. I can feel it. Hi, Axel from France. Oh, nice. I really want to visit France one day. Asmay from Morocco. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your names wrong, but I still want to say hi, so that's okay. Hi, Rodrigo. Rodrigo, you didn't say your country. Where are you watching us from? From Congo. Hi, Kela. Kela. And hi from India, Jagadish. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for sharing where you're watching us from. So if you have watched us before, you might remember what this live is all about and how it usually goes. But if this is your first time, so I'm just going to remind you. So the Student World Talks is actually the only talk show that is entirely focused on everything related to studying abroad, whether it was bringing universities to talk about their programs or bringing some students talking about their experiences abroad. So it's just literally everything related to studying abroad, just so you can be more excited and motivated to take this step further and, accomplish your dream. So usually we bring university representatives so they can discuss the admission process, information about everything unique about the campus and all of that. But I'm not going to be the only one asking the questions. You guys also have the chance and opportunity to ask your questions and share your study abroad plans here on the comments, just like how you mentioned your countries. You can also ask your questions along the live, and we will be answering them. So for today specifically, our very special guest is Ryerson University from Canada. There's more than 100 undergraduate and graduate programs offered in this university. It's a culturally diverse and inclusive environment. It's located in Canada's largest city, Toronto. Ryerson University is actually really large, and it is home to over 45,000 students, and it is featured among the best 1,000 universities in the world. Also, a really interesting fact is that it is the most applied to university in Ontario. So these are all really great facts, but if you want to know more about this university, let's watch this video.
Halfway around the world, in a country you've never seen before, and a city of over 6 million people, there's a special place that awaits you. It's home to a bench where you'll have lunch, a patch of grass where you'll study, and a tree where you'll nap. It's home to an incubator where you'll innovate, a skyscraper where you'll get your first job, and spaces where you'll unleash your creativity. It's home to views you'll gaze upon, experiences you'll get lost in, and memories you'll hold dear to your heart. And it's home to people who will walk with you, professors who will inspire your life's work, and friends you'll keep long after you've graduated. This place is your home away from home. This place is Ryerson.
That was actually really great. I hope you guys enjoyed that just as much as I did. So now, finally, it's time to introduce our lovely guests for today. So we have Derek. Hi, Derek.
Hey, everyone.
Hi, Zainab. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. It is so nice having you here. How do you feel being here with the students, with seeing everyone come from all around the world?
It's pretty awesome. It's a really cool platform, and it's awesome to see so many people from all around.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited to connect with a bunch of different students or prospective students.
That's awesome. I'm sure the students are really excited to get more information about Ryerson University as well, so that they can come to Canada and study here in this awesome place. So first, I always like to start by asking the guests more about them. So if you guys can just give a quick introduction about yourself, who you are, and what do you do for Ryerson University?
Do you want to start, Zainab?
Yeah, absolutely. So hi, everyone. My name is Zainab. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a student at Ryerson University. I am in my 4th and final year of the journalism program. And like all of you, I am an international student. So I moved to Toronto in Canada for the first time, visited for the first time to go there for school. So I understand, a lot of the questions that you folks might have, and I'm so excited to answer them.
And I'm Derek. I work at Ryerson University as a communications officer, really focused on providing students who are coming from outside Canada or in Canada without the Canadian citizenship, a lot of information and resources on how to apply, and hopefully helping you make your way to Toronto to study for your undergraduate programs.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for that. So, guys, as you heard, Zainab is a student herself, so she can really help you get that student perspective. So keep your questions coming. Anything you're curious about, either in the university or just in Canada, you can ask. And also anything related to programs and all of that, you can ask Derek. So we're going to start today by talking about who is Ryerson University. Just like a quick introduction about who is this university and what are the unique qualities of Ryerson University. So, Derek, if you would like to start by answering this question.
Yeah, I would say Ryerson University is an institution that really is for the change maker. It's for those students who really want to make a difference, who want to get involved and actually do the work. It's, of course, you're going to have tests, you're going to have essays, but as well embedded in our curriculum are opportunities to be very much involved with the industries, and we like to say it's career-focused education. So really trying to get students prepared so that when they graduate, or maybe even before they graduate, they get that job that's going to help them take them to the career that they want.
Awesome. So that was Ryerson University. But what would you say are the unique qualities of this university?
First, I would say The most unique thing is that we're right in the heart of downtown Toronto. Toronto is the largest city in Canada. It is a very diverse city. And with that location means that, our campus, it's going to be a bit more unique than maybe one that's in a college town. You walk outside of class and you're on a busy Toronto street, and there's a lot with that, a lot to access. You have access to a lot of great restaurants, shops, cafes, as well, though, related to that working piece. A lot of Canada's leading industries are within walking distance to our campus. So it makes it really easy for students like Zainab to do an internship or a co-op and get those real world experiences before they finish.
That's really awesome. Being like right in downtown Toronto, that's such a unique thing to have. From your point of view, Zainab, what was the first thing that really struck you that you thought like, oh wow, this is really unique about Ryerson University and that you would like to share with other students?
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, it was how hands-on the learning is. I know for a lot of folks, being in a classroom isn't the only way to learn, like, having just like with textbooks and studying. I think what I love about Ryerson is how it's such a well-rounded education. So, like Derek said, you're learning through internships, you're learning through, experiential learning. And what that really means is you're learning through labs, you're doing experiments, you're going out in the street and talking to people. So, me in journalism, I will go out onto the street and be told to do interviews with like random people, and that's fun to me. It's exciting. It means no day is the same, and I think that's just really important when you're doing something you love and you're passionate about. Just always feeling excited to go to class and learn something new in non-traditional ways. So I think Ryerson, like Derek mentioned, is very forward thinking. It's for change makers. It's for students who are really looking to make a difference in the world.
That's great. That really sounds exciting. And that was actually the second topic that I was gonna talk about. It is that throughout the research, I found something called experiential learning at Ryerson University, which I thought is really fun and exciting. And I would like the students to also know about it. So Zainab, you talked about how journalism you learn through like practical aspects. So Derek, is it like that for all the other programs as well? How are the learning styles for the other programs at Ryerson University?
Yeah, I would say all of our programs have some sort of experiential learning built into the degree. And when we say experiential learning, it really means hands-on learning. It means that it's beyond, again, like writing papers and taking tests. It's doing something related to the industries and practicing those skill sets that you'll be using when you're finally in the workplace. So depending on the program, it will vary, of course. We try to focus these hands-on learning opportunities to the subject matter. They come in different forms. Some of our programs do offer something called co-op, which is this is common in Canada, and at Ryerson, about almost half of our programs offer an optional co-op. So essentially, a co-op would be an extra year added to your undergraduate degree, but that extra year is full-time working experience that's paid. So not only are you working in your industry in a real job, you're going to also be building a resume and making an income, and it's usually between third and fourth year. Other types of experiential learning could be in the form of internships, which I'll pass it on to Zainab in a second to talk about those because she's currently doing that in her program. But the difference between an internship and a co-op would be an internship is done within the 4 years of your program, and you're still likely taking some courses while you're doing that real world experience. Other types of experiential learning could be in the form of research. We have something called the Ryerson Laboratories, which is located on University Avenue, which is called the Discovery District in Toronto. And essentially, it allows students in science to potentially be working alongside faculty-led research projects. We have collaborations with hospitals in the city, like St. Mike's Hospital, where students in psychology are able to, get clinical experience. So a lot of our programs have different forms of experiential learning. So no matter what you study at Ryerson, expect to be, going beyond the classroom and applying your learning in a very fun and engaging way.
That's really great. Thank you for that, Derek. So, Zainab, Derek mentioned that you are currently doing your internship, but would you like to share anything regarding that?
Yeah, just sort of, I'd love to talk about how, Ryerson really sets you up for success and you get to do, a lot of great things that add to your experience. Like Derek mentioned, sort of getting the experience to be a working professional early on. So, my internship, which I am doing this semester with my courses, is actually my third internship that I've got to do while I've been at Ryerson. And that's pretty common for most people. A lot of folks end up taking on really cool summer or winter internships over the breaks. And that's all because you get to work at a university that encourages working while learning. And the one I'm doing right now is part of my placement. So it's so I can graduate. And it's with a really big magazine in Canada. So again, you get a lot of great opportunities by, being able to apply and say, hey, I go to this university, and it's recommended that I apply. And I know, for example, when I was doing my search, they said to me like, oh, we get really great candidates from Ryerson University. And that gave me an edge and it gave me an advantage. So it's always a good idea to go to a university that helps you open doors wherever you go.
Definitely, yeah. Thank you for that, Zainab. So I see here a question from Kyla, asking, "What is an undergraduate?" It's like usually some students name it differently in other countries. So maybe Derek, you wanna just like clarify on what is an undergraduate degree?
Absolutely, yeah. Pardon me. So, an undergraduate degree traditionally is a 4-year bachelor's degree done after high school and then before a master's degree. So, undergraduate being a bachelor degree, graduate being master's and PhD level programming. And we're from the undergraduate side of Ryerson. Of course, we have some really great graduate programs. Those are held in a different office, but generally, if you're in high school or you've completed high school, that's your highest level of education, then you would be looking at an undergraduate degree if you're hoping to come to university in Canada.
Perfect. Thank you, Derek. And thank you, Kyla, for asking that question because I see someone else also was wondering about the meaning of it. So I hope that it's clear now. I also see a question about the requirements and fees, but we will get to that in a second because we just want to talk about the programs first and so that you guys can know what programs Ryerson offers. But before we get to that, I also saw something during the research called zone learning, which is pretty really like known at Ryerson. So maybe Derek, you can tell us more about zone. What is the zone learning at Ryerson University?
Absolutely. Yeah. Zone learning is something that is quite unique to Ryerson. Essentially, these are incubators set across campus that allow our students to actually work on entrepreneurial ventures, and it provides them with resources to potentially make this idea become a real company. And you could potentially be graduating being a CEO of your own startup business. So it's really for the students who are entrepreneurs. They have really cool ideas. Again, relating to that change making, a lot of these startups relate and try to solve real world problems within society. So, I know a lot of universities do have incubators. I think what's great about Ryerson's is that we have 10 of them and they're all based in different areas and disciplines. So, what's great is that no matter what you're studying at Ryerson, you can get involved with these zones. It's entirely extracurricular. And new this year, we've actually introduced a minor. So students could be getting a distinction on their degree for the work that they're doing in these zones. A lot of people ask how to get involved. We do have a lot of resources on campus to help kind of start that process, but usually you would be applying to a zone with a business plan. And if successful, then you take on the next steps to actually start putting these plans into motion. if you're a bit timid or nervous, or you don't really have an idea yet of what kind of company you would like to work on, but you really like the idea of working for a startup, having the 10 zones on campus means that there are plenty of opportunities to be working with other students and people who have startups, and you can kind of get that firsthand experience without it being your own company.
That's really great. So is this zone learning aspect available to, like, would you say, like, most of the programs at Ryerson, or is it just like for the business programs?
That's a good question. I think because it's not tied to any type of undergraduate degree, it really is truly open to all students. So, of course, I think when people hear incubation and entrepreneurship, of course, you're going to think of business students, computer science, and engineering students. But what makes the innovation happen is that collaboration. So, we have a fashion zone, which is really focused on the fashion industry. A really great example, it's called Inkbox, and it was students from business as well as students from fashion who ended up creating a company that sells like these temporary tattoos that look quite realistic, but it really shows that potential. We also have a science discovery zone, which looks at, validating and research related to entrepreneurship. We have a legal venture zone, which focuses more on law and criminal justice, as well as the social venture zone, which is really aligned for students in humanities and social sciences. But of course, like none of these are prescriptive. It's really it really comes down to what kind of idea or company you would like to kind of work on, and then which zone would that fit best into. And again, you don't have to be, you could be studying history and you could have your own, zone startup.
Yeah, that's really awesome too, to like add it to your resume, and it can help for
Mhm.
your like with your career and employment opportunities after graduation. So Zainab, is this something that you personally participated in, or maybe just someone, like some of your friends or classmates that participated in zone learning?
Yeah, for sure. So I've joined a couple of the clubs that have been born out of different zones. And so, like Derek was saying, there are a lot of opportunities that you get within zone learning. So, with some of them, it's whether you're starting your own business through an idea that you're bringing to the table, or you're joining somebody else's business. Um, or another way is just sort of going to like weekly meetings or clubs. So a club that I joined was creative coding, where they just had a coding specialist come in and teach people who were interested. And for me in journalism, like it's a completely different arena, but I thought this is a cool skill that I'd want to have. And just like that, there are a lot of cool things that keep happening where you can get involved, you can learn new skills, and they're all things that may not necessarily be related to your program. So personally, for me, I've joined coding clubs, but I have friends who have businesses. I have a friend who has a halal makeup line, and I have another friend that works um, through that friend's business in zone learning, so in the fashion zone. So a lot of different folks do a lot of different things, but everyone that I know has really good things to say because it's a great way to, like you said, lean add things to your resume and further your career. So all good things to say about zone learning.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Zainab. So now we're going to talk about the programs offered at Ryerson University. I already see some of the questions regarding programs. So guys, please keep those questions coming and we will be answering them. Just tell us about what program are you looking for, and we can see if Ryerson offers that program. So the first question that I would like to ask, how many undergraduate programs are there? Can you maybe give us just a brief overview of them, like maybe the most popular among international students at Ryerson University?
Yeah, absolutely. We have 62 undergraduate programs at Ryerson. So again, these are four-year bachelor degrees. I think, you mentioned we do have quite a large student body, but what makes us unique is that we have over 62 undergraduate programs, and then of course all of the master's and PhD programs. So, you're still going to find programs that are quite small. And then, the business ones and engineering, which will be a little bit larger in class size, but as you move into your 4 years, you'll find your major, and then you kind of move into these smaller classroom sizes. With that, all of our programs are within 6 different faculties. So you'll find, and faculties basically refers to a grouping of similar type programs. So an example would be the Faculty of Arts. These are all of our humanities and social science degrees. They are traditionally a Bachelor of Arts that you're awarded when you finish the 4 years. And this relates to a lot of critical thinking and analysis. Some great examples that our international students really like. Psychology, this is a really great hands-on program. International economics and finance, this actually has a built-in internship. And then other cool ones I see in the comments, someone asked about languages. We have one called Language and Intercultural Relations, looking at, translations and linguistics. So that would be all within the Faculty of Arts. We have, more specific ones like the Faculty of Community Services. I actually graduated from that studying urban planning. Some really popular ones internationally would be nursing, as well as social work. So these are all programs that more so focus on public health. So the health and safety of people. And of course, they kind of vary depending on the program. Early childhood is also a popular one. The next faculty would be the Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Sciences. This is probably one of the more popular ones internationally, as we have many different engineering degrees that are accredited with the Canadian Engineering Board. So you're getting fantastic education with accredited professors, and they range in all different majors, such as aerospace. I think that's the one that we're most known for because not many other schools in Canada offer that at an undergraduate degree. And so basically you're learning how to design and build anything that can fly or take off from the ground. Of course, you have computer engineering, biomedical engineering, mechanical, industrial. There's quite a few. Then we do have our Faculty of Science. These are all of our Bachelor of Science degrees and mathematics degrees. So this includes computer science, which is probably the most popular internationally, but as well, we have really cool ones like financial mathematics. Medical physics is quite unique, looking at applying physics skill sets to the medical field. And then we have 2 more. The Ted Rogers School of Management. This is our business school. This is actually Canada's largest business school. So if you're hoping to study any type of Bachelor of Commerce degree, I see a question from Kayla about business administration. In Canada, we use both of those terms, but Bachelor of Commerce or Bachelor of Business Administration, they're traditionally the same, and we have the Bachelor of Commerce degrees. Business management would be the main program which a lot of our students apply to. What's great is that it is undeclared in the first year, and then after first year you get to choose your major. Some majors include, the traditional human resources, marketing, global management studies. We have some unique ones within entrepreneurial studies. So that goes back to the zone learning. That's maybe a program if you wanted to actually be having, entrepreneurial ventures embedded in the program. That's a good major to look at. And then as well, we have a really popular one within accounting and finance. The last faculty is the creative school, which Zainab is currently a part of the community. And essentially the creative school would house all of our studio-based or communication style programs. So internationally, we're very well known for this faculty, and it's home to some really exciting programs within film, television, fashion, interior design, professional communications, creative industries, and Zainab, who's studying journalism. So, it's all about that storytelling and communication aspects.
That's great. Thank you so much, Derek, for giving us this general overview of the faculties and the programs offered at Ryerson. There's definitely a lot of options for students to choose from, which is really exciting. So some of the questions. So there's a question from Amira. Is there a specialized program in data science or in a related field?
So I would say that I think that would be maybe more at the master's level, but data science can be found in some of our programs. Within the Faculty of Science, I would say math and its applications would really look at data science and learning how to work with big data sets. I would say that would probably be the best program. And then potentially within engineering, there might be some related fields, but of course, engineering is a little bit different.
Awesome, thank you. So Mario is also asking, hi Mario from Colombia. So he's asking if there are any master's degrees about community management.
Unfortunately, I'm not too well versed on the master's programs, but I do recommend if you are looking at any master or PhD level programs at Ryerson, I can provide the link, but essentially it's the Yates School of Graduate Studies, and they have the full list of their programs, the admissions requirements, tuition fees, because it is a separate, it's like a separate school within our school. They're the best people to ask those questions to because they'll be able to provide the best information for you. But I'll provide the link so that it can be shared with you all.
Awesome. You can just provide it in the private chat, and our colleague is going to put it on in the comments for you guys so to check the graduate programs. So another question from Nazifa. Is there anything for the artists? So Derek, perhaps you want to maybe repeat what you said about the creative industries faculty, because that was really interesting and could be helpful for Nazifa.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Ryerson's a really great option for students who want to be an artist or work in the creative fields. With the creative school, the faculty, they have so many wonderful programs to look at. Our newest program, which is really exciting, is called Professional Music, which looks at working within the music industry, whether that's, you want to be a producer, you want to work within, live music events, be a manager for an artist. That's a really great option for you. Of course, we have really technical ones like fashion, when you're learning how to design and create your own fashion line. We have a really small acting program, which takes in 30 students each year, which is more of a conservatory style where you'd be, working in the studios. It's very hands-on. For those students who are a little bit unsure of what kind of creative field they want to work in, but really know that that's their calling, I would recommend the Creative Industries program because this is entirely designed for those types of students who want to work in a creative field, especially if they see themselves being more on the administrative or the business side, but still want to have some of those courses at the undergraduate level. What's great about this program is that it's designed to allow students to choose two modules, we call it, which are technically they're kind of like majors, and you can select those. Those are entirely based off of the programs that we offer within the creative school. So I'm working with a student currently. She's working with us as part-time, but she's in creative industries, and she really enjoys that flexibility and being able to take business courses alongside creative courses and get that broader learning.
Awesome. Thank you, Derek. And thank you, Nazifa, for your questions. You guys can even make them even more specific, like you want to become an artist, but maybe you can ask about like even more specific, like do you want to go into music or acting, or what kind of program are you really looking for, so we can help you even more. So Derek, you already mentioned that the engineering classes, for example, are more like on a larger side, like with more students. But Zainab, for you in the journalism program, can you maybe describe the class size, the professors, how many students, the interactions, and just like the assignments, just an overview of how you would go going into the journalism program?
Yeah, absolutely. So the journalism program is one of the ones that is a bit smaller, just to keep things tight knit, so students really get that one-on-one attention, because it's the sort of thing that requires it. So our class sizes in total are about 150 people in the whole year, and then when we will do labs, which is essentially like 5-hour labs, which is our main sort of journalism class of the week. We're about 30 people in a classroom, and we have one professor and occasionally a teaching assistant. And that's been pretty standard throughout the years. So it really helps because you get a lot of face time, you get a lot of one-on-one time with your professors, and you get the opportunity to ask questions and receive feedback and really have them watching over you as you progress through your assignments. And speaking of assignments, they are pretty varied. I would say I've done everything from, recording a podcast to filming a video and editing it to writing a blog to interviewing a local business in Toronto and writing a feature article on them. So again, this sort of comes back to how Ryerson, one of the biggest things about the programs here is that everything is well-rounded and you're not really getting just one aspect of a certain subject or a certain, subject area, but you're really learning. You have a very multifaceted approach to learning, and it's very 360. And so you're learning all these skills that are transferable and you can use them in future jobs. So for me, coming into it, I thought, oh, maybe I'm just going to learn about writing, but I learned about audio editing, video editing, and so on and so forth. So I hope that helps a little bit.
Yeah, that actually sounds really fun. Makes me want to go back to school and just go into journalism. So thank you for sharing that. We also have a question from Axel about if Ryerson has an art direction in communication.
We don't have a program specifically within art direction. However, I would suggest and recommend a few. We have a program called New Media, which is within the creative industries faculty. And essentially, New Media looks at the future of art. And it can be really related to like art installations because you're looking at, new ways to interact with media. As well, like, these are maybe more classic programs, but within photography and film, these are Bachelor of Fine Arts degrees as well that really focus on the visual arts of either medium. But I do have actually some friends who have graduated from photography specifically who now work for galleries. So they are, quite heavily tied together. But unfortunately, with art direction, we don't have an actual program dedicated to it.
All right, great, thank you. So Nader Beck is also asking if I study engineering while undergraduate period, is it possible to change my major to business for a master's degree?
Again, I would actually recommend that you take a look at master's level programs, but generally, I feel like with an MBA, a Master's of Business Administration, traditionally, they're going to see students come from all different programs. So with engineering, I know specifically at Ryerson, you can do a minor within business. So you can pair those two skills together. And then looking into your master's degrees, I always recommend take a look at the ones that you're interested in and kind of work backwards. That's going to help dictate, which undergraduate degrees are within means, like what will allow you to get to that master's degree before you commit or apply to anything.
Perfect, thank you. So also throughout the research, I found something interesting called the ESL Foundation Program. So can you perhaps explain to the students what is the ESL Foundation Program?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. It's basically, these are foundation programs that are designed to help students who do not meet our minimum English language proficiency scores. So the ESL Foundation Program is one of those programs. We also have English Boost, and these are both within our Real Institute. And the Institute is entirely dedicated to helping students through that transition. So this is also a great way to talk about English proficiency. That's part of the language requirements at Ryerson. And generally, if you are coming from a country where English is not the first language, we may be asking for you to provide proof of English proficiency. English proficiency traditionally is, you show the proof through a test. You may know of IELTS or TOEFL. As well, Duolingo with the pandemic has become quite popular. So you can go on our website, you will see we have 6 different tests that we'll accept. including the three I mentioned. Using IELTS as an example, because I think it's probably the most popular one, we look at a minimum score of 6.5 for your overall band score for all of our incoming programs. So that would be the score that you'd have to hit to be admitted into the program alongside the admissions requirements. However, if you can't meet the 6.5, we have tailored programs that can help you meet that and enter automatically into your undergraduate degrees through the Real Institute. So some really big benefits from the ESL Foundation program and the English Boost program would be that you're going to have guaranteed admission into the undergraduate degree program if accepted. So the all you have to do really is finish the real program successfully, and then you'll be automatically enrolled into your undergraduate degree program. You do not need to rewrite an English test. You don't need to reapply. It is very straightforward and seamless. As well, in certain cases, like the ESL Foundation program specifically, you will have the option to actually take some undergraduate courses within that foundation program. So when you start your program, you will have some credits already under your belt. And then lastly, I would say the biggest advantage is that you're going to be really prepared to enter your first year. I know a lot of students see this as, it wastes time and it's going to prolong their graduation, but it's really about student success. So we would hate to admit you to the program and then have you do really poorly in your first year, maybe have to, take a year off or switch programs. We want to make sure that when you enter your program, you're going to be able to write those essays. You're going to be able to confidently present in the classroom and effectively communicate amongst, the professors and your classmates. So alongside that, being in one of the real programs, you will also be able to start creating your Ryerson community early, so that when you're in your first year, you're going to already have friends and students that you've met through the Real Institute.
That's such a great options for the students. Derek, thank you for also talking about that. I was going to ask about like if the credits are counted towards their degree, and you already answered that. So that's great. Thank you for that. So I see a question about the scholarships, and I know many of you guys are really interested in that topic. But before we get to that, I'm just going to ask more about the location and the social environment of Ryerson University, since that's such a unique thing about them. So, Zainab, perhaps you can answer this question. How would you describe the social environment at Ryerson University, like just the campus in general? When you walk there, is it lively? Is it busy? Just like generally, how do you feel when you're there?
Yeah, so I really think you hit the nail on the head when you said like lively, because Ryerson's campus is very much alive. It's always buzzing. There's always things going on, and I think that's a really big part of the energy that you just feel around there. Whether you're coming out after a class that ends at 9 p.m. or you're starting your day at 9 in the morning, there are always people around you, which is really, really great. And I think, like Derek said, the fact that we are in the heart of downtown makes us really unique, because while you are seeing, students all around you, if you go, a couple of steps ahead, you see people from all over Toronto, people from all different backgrounds, whether someone's, running to work or going on the subway, you're seeing people from all different walks of life. And so it's very accepting, it's very diverse, and it really helps you sort of find your footing and feel like you're not alone because of how many people are always around you and how much is going on. I personally, as an international student, I really appreciated the fact that the campus was so busy and so alive, because it just kept things exciting. You step outside and you're seeing a lot of different people. You bump into your friends like almost every day without planning it. And so everything always sort of stays exciting and upbeat. And honestly, the fact that you get to see so many people around you helps you feel more comfortable. For me personally, as a Muslim person of color, I would see people, in headscarves all the time. I would see people from different ethnicities. So it really helped me feel at ease and, assimilate and just adjust to life in Toronto.
That's really great. I'm sure the students would be really happy knowing and hearing about how safe the community in Toronto is, because that's such an important thing when you come here as an international student. You're like a little bit nervous and you're feeling a little bit alone. So it's great to hear that there are so many people there at Ryerson University. And also being so like alive and so many people, it also expands your network and connections, which is beneficial for employment. After graduation or while you're studying. And also, speaking of employment, Derek, perhaps you want to share this answer. Do you have any partnerships with companies like Ryerson University? Do you have any partnerships with companies or universities abroad? And how would you say that is beneficial for students?
Yeah, we definitely have some fantastic partnerships with companies all around. I feel like majority of them would be likely within Toronto, just because if you're studying in Toronto, we want to make sure that you're going to be getting those experiences close to home. But generally, these can be related to a co-op program, like I mentioned. So the full year working experience, it's added to your four-year undergraduate degree or through internships. So these are usually built, these are relationships that our university has built with these companies for many, many years. And like Zainab said, hopefully you'll see that Ryerson does have that reputation, and our students continue to carry that reputation in terms of being able to enter the workplace and be very successful. We do have a career office, which is entirely dedicated to supporting our current students with finding jobs, and helping them with tools and resources so that they're going to be successful and feel confident applying for those jobs. So like this could be in the form of workshops on campus. They can also sometimes they'll be hosting job fairs. So there's a lot of great resources, and probably the biggest resource would be the set of career advisors within the office that you can book an appointment with, and they can really help kind of map out your career path, and help you understand what you'd be looking for in your first job.
Great, thank you, Derek. So talking more about Toronto, uh, Zainab, when you first came to Toronto, how did you find the cost of living here as an international student? Was it more like on the expensive side, or was it just like okay as an international student? Like maybe just give a general like idea of the cost of living in Toronto.
Yeah, for sure. I think firstly, with any major city in the world, the cost of living is definitely a little more than it would be if you were in a suburb or if you were in a smaller town. And I guess that's because you're paying for the experience and the access to, so many different people and the convenience and the safety of it all. But I would say that I was pleasantly surprised and I was pretty happy, especially living in residence, because I do feel like right off the bat when I came and I lived in residence, I really liked that, like, for example, my meal plan was included, in the cost of living that I was paying. And so that was something I didn't really have to worry about. I didn't have to worry about like, okay, I need to go buy groceries this week, or I need to budget or account for groceries. So I think that first off, like that really helped. I think another thing that really helps in terms of keeping in mind like budgets and expenses and finances in Toronto is that Ryerson has a lot of great opportunities for you to work a part-time job with them. And the best part about that is you will do that right on campus. You make connections at Ryerson. So, for example, I am currently working with the International Enrollment Office, which is how Derek and I work together. And I've been doing this for close to 2 years now. And it's a really great opportunity. So it's a way for me to make different connections. It's a way for me to work with folks who understand that I'm a student first before anything else, and really help, even receive advice. So like Derek, a lot of the folks that I work with are graduates of Ryerson. So they help me find my way. They help me find my footing. So I think that while cost of living is always something at the forefront of, most international students' minds, the good thing is there are a lot of different supports in place to help make that easy, and make it as seamless as possible for everyone.
Perfect. Thank you, Zainab, for sharing that. Actually, my next question was gonna be related to part-time jobs and whether international students are allowed to get part-time jobs in Canada. So Guys, now it is clear you can get a part-time job whether on campus or outside of campus in Toronto. So that is great. Now, regarding the admission process for international students, Derek, can you give us just a general idea about how does the admission process for international students look like?
Yeah, definitely. So first, you would have to apply to the university using one of our main applications, and the two main ones would be the Ontario University's Application Center. This is a website that allows you to apply to any university in the province of Ontario. So there are 21 universities. There are a lot of different options for you. So if you know you want to come to this part of Canada, that might be the best application form for you. Specifically, if you are a student in Canada, that you're still an international student, but you're studying in the province or within the country, we would recommend you use the OUAC because that usually is a bit faster in terms of getting your grades. The other application is the Ryerson International application, which is a direct application to the university. So say you are dead set to come to Ryerson, or we're the only the only university in Ontario that you're applying to. This is probably the more affordable and the best option for you. And maybe I'll let you know that currently our fee to apply through the Ryerson University International application has been reduced. So if you are looking to start this fall, I do recommend you apply as soon as you can. The deadline is February. And if you apply before February 1st, you will be able to apply with that discounted application fee. Once you've applied, essentially we're going to look for a few things. You will well first you'll receive the acknowledgement email. So put an email that you check regularly, and that will let you know that we've received the application. And then traditionally we need to see a few things. For all programs, we're going to want to see that you have submitted your unofficial transcripts. So at this point, especially if you are currently studying in high school or another program or education system, this will tell us what you've completed up until this date and what you're currently enrolled in to finish that program. This is really important for high school students because oftentimes you're not going to be completing your prerequisites or the requirements until June, but we want to give you an offer before then. So the unofficial transcripts will show us your track and that you're on the right track to complete high school and finish with the subject prerequisites that are related to the program. I do want to touch quickly on the subject prerequisites because that is something that is slightly unique to Ryerson. I know a lot of schools in Canada have subject prerequisites. It's a little bit less so in the United States if you're looking at colleges there. But essentially, these are high school level courses that we ask you to take in order to qualify for a program at Ryerson. And with that, each program at Ryerson will have different subject prerequisites. I can give some examples. Say you want to study psychology at Ryerson, we just need to see that you're taking English at the highest level at your high school to be considered. But say you're looking at, a program within engineering, we're going to want to make sure that you're taking, English, math, and sciences related like within your school so that you have the foundations to enter first year at Ryerson and be able to do, the calculus, the physics, all of those really important core components. So that is one thing that I recommend you research before you apply, because if you don't have the subject prerequisites, we recommend that you find another program to apply to because we won't consider you, unfortunately. The other documents that we'll want to see would be potentially non-academic requirements. These are specific, again, to certain programs that are titled as grades plus, but traditionally these are the programs within the creative industries, the creative school, but have, let's say like acting, we'll want to see an audition. If you're applying to architecture, we'll want to see your design and drawings. If you're applying to film, you'll probably be submitting in some short films to showcase your work. So There are a select few programs that have these non-academic requirements, but those would be required. And then lastly, you could potentially fill in a supplementary form, which will give us more information. But generally, like those are the main components that we would need to see in order to complete your application.
Great. Thank you, Derek. So the last question from my side is, what are the scholarship opportunities for international students applying?
Great question. Yeah, so generally we have some awesome scholarships to apply to. The two that we traditionally promote would be the President's Entrance Scholarship and the Merit Scholarship. And we promote these because these two are kind of applied to all incoming international students who are coming directly from high school to university. The President's one is our largest and most prestigious, which awards students with up to $40,000 Canadian total. That's offered $10,000 each year for 4 years. So it would be on a renewable basis. I know I did see a question, does Ryerson offer a full scholarship? Unfortunately, this won't cover your full costs. You can apply for other scholarships as well, but generally it's unlikely that you'd be able to get a full scholarship to cover your fees. The other one, the Merit Scholarship, this is again another entrance scholarship which awards students with up to $5,000 Canadian total for the first year alone. And then, of course, once you're in your program, there's going to be a lot of different awards and scholarships that you can apply to. Maybe I'll pass it on to Zainab to maybe talk a little bit about what that process is like, because it will vary depending on the program you're in, but generally there's so many more awards that you can be earning throughout your 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like Derek mentioned, there are a lot of different opportunities that you have to apply for scholarships. And the really great thing that I personally like about the scholarships that are offered are that they're varied. So, not all of them have the same criteria. So, for some of them, it might be academics, and if you thrive there, then great, you can apply to those. Some of them depends on your background. So, for example, if you are a first generation student, meaning your parents didn't go to university, and you know are the first person to go to university, then you would be able to apply for those and just write an essay about your experience as a university student. If you are someone who is really passionate about diversity, you would be able to apply for an award that celebrates people that do that sort of work. So the really great thing is there are so many different awards, that are available to you, and they're available throughout different points in the semester. And for example, some of them can be, small awards that are $500, which still makes a difference, or they can go up to $2,000. I have a friend that won, a specific award for $4,000. And the really great thing is that because there are like 20, 30 awards available at the same time, you can keep applying really to as many as you want. And even if you win 2 to 3 awards, that's quite a large sum of money that you're getting, with your scholarship and with your award, and that makes all the difference. So it's something that I wish I knew earlier in first year because I wasn't aware. But the second I learned about it and I started applying, I really found myself winning quite a few scholarships and awards. So I highly recommend anyone that's interested to keep an eye on our awards page as a student at Ryerson, and refresh it and check every semester really, and keep applying because you never know how many you can win.
Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing those amazing options. And I really advise everyone that's watching to take advantage of these amazing opportunities, and especially that Derek mentioned that the tuition fees are reduced now. So that's an excellent opportunity for you guys. So unfortunately, I think I see here a really great question from Axel, and I think it would be great for Zainab if you can answer that and just give a brief step-by-step guide to what can an international students do to come to Toronto. Um, so she's just asking, what are the steps to follow when we come from abroad and want to study in Toronto?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and Derek, feel free to chime in or jump in whenever. But essentially, sort of for me, the journey was applying to different universities that I was interested in, and then once I got my first acceptance, it was applying for my visa. That's always something that is recommended that international students do pretty early on because processing times can take a while, especially with COVID. There can be delays, and so really getting that application for my visa was first priority. And then definitely if you are an international student and you want to be living in the dorms, you should put in your application to live in housing. If you visit our website, it's just ryerson.ca/housing. That's where you would get, a brief overview of the different, different styles of bedrooms that we offer and stuff like that. So definitely securing housing for yourself. And I would recommend living in residence if you can and if it makes sense, only because it's a furnished place. Your meal plan is included, so it really makes things pretty much easy for you. And what else? I feel like those are the main things, sort of, getting your applications in for schools, applying for your visa, and in terms of accommodation, getting in, making sure you're applying before the deadline to ensure that you get a spot in housing. So yeah, I think those are a couple of the main things. But of course, once you get there, just doing your regular maybe grocery trips, getting comfortable with the area, maybe getting a trusted friend to go around with and show you the city. All of that stuff will come to you once you're in the city, and you'll know what's the right thing to do for you. But I think if I were to say to have three things at the forefront of your mind, it would be those three. But Derek, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, I think you hit all of them very well. I'll say, like, at this point in the application cycle, especially if you're hoping to start school September 2022, get your applications in. As Lynn said, we have dropped the application fee for the Ryerson University international application, and then everything else will you'll get a lot of information from our team, and we'll help you along that process, including applying to residence, getting your study permit. We have a fantastic team at the International Student Support Office who will help you with that process, and then help you when you do end up coming to Toronto. And then when you're in the city and you're at school, my advice is take advantage of all of the great services and opportunities available. Check your email. Don't be afraid to reach out to professors, your administrators, because we're all here to support you. And, admittedly, as an international student, your experience is different and will be more challenging than students like me who grew up in Toronto. So take advantage of those and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Great. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing the amazing advice and for really motivating the students to take on this journey and not be afraid to study abroad. So thank you so much for being here today. And we really hope to see you here again at the Student World Talks, because it was such an amazing session. And guys, if you have more questions for Derek and Zainab, please don't hesitate to get in touch with them through this email on the screen, international@ryerson.ca. So thank you again for being here, and we hope to see you soon.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone.
So that was it for today, guys. Just one more last reminder is that if you like this live session, please go ahead and click the like button, and also subscribe to our channel to keep on seeing our lives. We're going to have more content and more amazing things coming. To keep on tracking and seeing the updates, you can also join us on our community on Instagram, the Student World. We're going to have amazing updates and posts there. So please don't be afraid to get in touch with us there. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you soon. Bye.